Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Deputies arrived to his residence after Moore's death. Buck can be seen in the white shirt. The manager tells me video captured another young man trying to come up to Buck's apartment while deputies were still there. He says those deputies had to tell the man to go away. A short time later, Moore's body is removed from Buck's apartment. In this passage, Moore writes that Buck gave him his first injection of crystal meth, that it was very painful, but he became addicted to the pain. He adds, quote, "If it didn't hurt so bad, I'd kill myself, but I'll let Ed Buck do it for now."
Prison cell, prison all the way. Oh, what fun it would be to see Buck finally pay. Hey! Prison cell, prison all the way. Oh, what fun it will be to see Buck finally pay. Hey! No more will he force men black and gay to shoot up crystal meth while laughing night and day. Cause on Ed Buck's side, making spirits cry. What fun it is to watch and see Ed Buck demise tonight. Oh, prison cell, prison all the way. Oh, what fun it would be to see Buck finally pay. Prison cell, prison all the way. Oh, what fun it would be to see Buck finally pay. Hey! Ed Buck, the murderous meth man, lives a secret double life. And if you really know him, then you know it's full of strife. All of his lovely neighbors know just what he say. Too busy to be bothered, they turn the look away. Then one steamy July day, Ed Buck got his way. To no more with your smile so bright, come on my place tonight. That was Jamel's last day here. Ed Buck never shed a tear. Ed Buck, the murderous meth man, you know he lives right here. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Ed Buck is out on the town. He's looking online, he's at the Gold Coast, you know that he likes those black guys the most. Ed Buck is out on the town. He gets you when you're sleeping, plays dumb when you're awake. He knows if you need cash or drugs, what you black for goodness sake. Hey, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Ed Buck is out on the town. Wish Ed Buck was in prison, we wish Ed Buck was in prison, we wish Ed Buck was in prison for 25 to life. Cause that will bring peace to Jamel's family. We wish Ed Buck was in prison for 25 to life. We won't stop till he's in prison. We won't stop till he's in prison. We won't stop till he's in prison. So please arrest him. We wish Ed Buck was in prison. We wish Ed Buck was in prison. We wish Ed Buck was in prison for 25 to life. Yeah.
Dead male prostitute, piles of meth found in Clinton megadonor's home, no arrests. A high-profile millionaire donor to Hillary Clinton was found with a dead prostitute in his home, with witnesses saying he kidnapped him, and drugs and paraphernalia everywhere, and no one has been charged. By Matt Agarist, February 14, 2018. West Hollywood, CA. The family and friends of Gemel Moore, 26, are fighting an uphill battle to bring the man they say is responsible for his death to justice. Not surprisingly, the fact that Moore, who worked as a male escort, was found dead at the home of 63-year-old Ed Buck, who's donated hundreds of thousands to Hillary Clinton, has received very little media coverage. On July 27, Moore's body was discovered inside the West Hollywood apartment of Ed Buck. Buck is a well-connected and extremely wealthy political activist who gives massive amounts of money to the Democratic Party. His influence is vast as he's given hundreds of thousands to a slew of powerful Democrats including Clinton, Barack Obama, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, Los Angeles County District Attorney Jackie Lacey and a variety of state and local organizations in California, which likely explains the reason he's yet to be charged with any crime. According to a Los Angeles County coroner's report, police and paramedics found Moore naked on a mattress in Buck's living room with a male pornography movie playing on the television. A spokesman for the coroner's office, Ed Winter, said Buck was inside his Laurel Avenue home at the time of Moore's death and that drug paraphernalia was recovered from the scene. Police found sex toys, syringes, and clear plastic bags with suspected methamphetamine in a toolbox roll cabinet in the living room, 24 syringes with brown residue, 5 glass pipes with white residue and burn marks, a plastic straw with possible white residue, clear plastic bags with white powdery residue and a clear plastic bag with a piece of crystal-like substance. Even if we ignore the fact that there was a dead prostitute in his bed, the drugs found on the scene alone should have been enough to warrant charges, as the multiple plastic bags would land anyone else with not only possession charges but intent to distribute. But there have been none. According to Fox, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office initially ruled the death an accidental methamphetamine overdose. But the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office Homicide Bureau on August 14 announced they would investigate if there is any criminal culpability, after Moore's family and friends disputed the initial finding. The sheriff's office has told the family that they should have the investigation wrapped up soon. However, they say they are having trouble interviewing witnesses. We should have all the information, so we can make a good evaluation of everything that transpired to see if there's any criminal culpability, Lieutenant Joe Mendoza, a spokesman for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office Homicide Bureau, told Fox News. While it is entirely possible that Moore was simply staying at Buck's house as a friend and accidentally overdosed while there, the following information paints a far more ominous picture. One of the witnesses interviewed by police said Moore told her that someone whose name is conveniently redacted tied him up over a year ago and held him against his will at the residence in West Hollywood. But that's not all. Moore also kept a journal in which he described in graphic detail how Buck forced him to do meth and got him addicted. I honestly don't know what to do. I've become addicted to drugs, and the worst one at that, Moore's journal reads. Ed Buck is the one to thank. He gave me my first injection of crystal meth. It was very painful, but after all the troubles, I became addicted. Moore also seemed to think that Buck was trying to kill him, which is why he wrote the following sentence in his journal. If it didn't hurt so bad, I'd kill myself, but I'll let Ed Buck do it for now. The damning information against Buck, however, according to his attorney, amounts to nothing. There's nothing there. As we always stated, this was an accidental overdose that Ed Buck had nothing to do with, and it's a tragedy, Buck's attorney, Seymour Emster, told Fox News. The coroner has not changed his opinion from an accidental death. Until that happens, and that's not going to happen, we're done. However, on top of the fact that there is documented evidence of heavy drug use at his residence, illegal prostitution, witness accounts of kidnapping, and more predicting Ed Buck would kill him, other witnesses have come forward noting that Buck has a history of doing this to young black men. As Fox reports, according to Jasmine Canuck, an advocate for Moore's family, a number of other gay black men have claimed Buck would invite them to his house, then pay them several $100s to take drugs. The website has even posted evidence showing that Buck is apparently still out recruiting young black men to bring them to his home and give them drugs. The family of Moore has set up a website at which former victims of Buck can submit their stories in hopes of getting justice. Whether or not this well-connected millionaire Democratic donor will ever be brought to justice, however, remains up in the air. As for Moore's mother, she remains resolute in her mission, which she says is getting Ed Buck off the streets and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for preying on and taking advantage of my son and others like him. Become a patron.
It has been 3 months since 26-year-old Jamel Moore was found dead at the West Hollywood home of wealthy Democratic donor Ed Buck. Initially, his death was ruled an accidental methamphetamine overdose, but Moore's mother, Letitia Nixon, has pressed police to continue the investigation into her son Jamel's mysterious death and to interview other black men about their experiences with Buck. Now, Buck, who has not been arrested or charged with any crime, has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democratic candidates and causes over the years. Jamel Moore's friends and family have launched a petition calling on Democrats to return Buck's money. So far, only one has done so. Joining us on the phone from Spring, Texas, is the mother of Jamel Moore, Letitia Nixon. Ms. Nixon, welcome to the show. First and foremost, do you believe that because your son has been called a male prostitute, and that's one of the reasons why people don't care, or people just say, whatever, this is not really a big deal? Do you think that's what is going on here?
Thank you for having me, and yes, I do.
The initial cause was an overdose, but we've had other individuals, am I correct, who have stepped up and talked about how they were pursued and forced to use drugs by Ed Buck. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And so, what have authorities told you? Have they communicated with you at all?
Yes, the authorities have communicated with me after we said we were going to have a community meeting this past weekend, and basically all they've communicated to me was that they are still looking into things, but they don't have any evidence. We, myself, Jasmine Canick, Nana Guampi, and others, we have provided them with information. They haven't done anything themselves. And
so this investigation, and we talked about the evidence, because it was initially declared an overdose, no evidence was collected at the home of Ed Buck, correct?
That's correct. Not until 19 days after my son was, his homicide, I'm going to say homicide, was ruled an accidental overdose, 19 days later, after Jasmine Canick published it on her website, his journal, that's when they decided to do an investigation.
What kind of support have you gotten from the LGBT community with regards to this? Because, I mean, obviously, on one hand, your son was a male prostitute. Ed Buck is a prominent gay man there as well. Have you had any support from LGBT community?
They like to be called sex workers, escort, not male prostitute.
Okay.
And I want to also point out that no sex between any of the victims that came forward and Ed Buck happened. He didn't have any sex. He just had fetishes. But as far as the LGBTQ community, I've had some support, but not as much as I would like.
When last time you talked to your son?
The day that he died.
And what was that conversation like?
He was here with me in Texas, and he decided to go back to California. And the conversation basically was like, you know, Mom, I have a plan. I'm going to do things differently, and I'll see you in 3 months. That basically was the gist of the conversation.
All right, then. Well, Letitia Nixon, we certainly thank you for being on the show. We certainly wish you prayers as you try to seek justice for your son, Jamel Moore.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so very much.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
News One Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.
Jamel lived with me for the 2 years before all this happened. we went through a lot of our hardest struggles together. You know, I was addicted to drugs myself, and you know, I spent so much time with him. Jamel used to call me from different places that he was, and he would ask me to come pick him up, you know, and I would go out searching for him in these different places that he found himself in, you know, trying to pull him up out of that, because for me it was pulling myself out of it, you know, seeing someone who's in your same situation or going through a struggle, because drugs for everyone is a struggle, you know, it never ends well. It always gets worse. It always gets, you always are going to hit rock bottom, you know. Rock bottom last time may have been rock bottom then, but next rock bottom is going to be even worse than that. This man, he went out there searching for other men that were struggling and on the streets and had no money, you know, and I mean men who had never experienced drugs before, people that were just struggling, you know, struggling, and were already in a down and out position. You know, this is the type of guys, you know, Ed Buck searched for, and Jamel was scared. You know, people, I hear you guys talking about they try to take away his humanity. Jamel was scared. He was scared of this man. He came and he laid in my arms and he cried and he was scared. He was scared that this man was going to hurt him. And he went to the police station and they told him to go away. You know, they did not believe him. You know, he was scared. He was scared. He called me in tears, crying that he didn't want to be this person. He wrote a diary saying that he was scared he was going to die. You know, he wanted to get away from this path, you know. And Ed Buck, you know, being a man of, you know, intuity and knowledge and in politics and stuff like this, you're not speaking about somebody who was stupid. You're not speaking about another child or another young man who accidentally did something or in the high of the moment, you know, did something that they regretted later. You're talking about somebody who intentionally went out there and searched for other men and paid them. And we're not talking about little money, okay? My car's in the shop right now. I'm struggling. I'm trying to move. I want to start this new nursing career. I have so many things. And money is an issue for me, as all Americans. I mean, it is. Our economy right now, you know, the blue-collar worker, I mean, if you're not making $250,000 a year, you don't have the American dream, and it's not possible, you know? So I am struggling. And there's a lot of things that I would go out there and do for $600, and then another $600. Oh, you know, I'll do it again. I'll give you $1,200 if you do it again. This is what Ed Buck said to him. I'll give you $600 to start. Then I'm going to give you $600 more if you do it again. Now, many of you may not understand the mentality of a drug addict. When you get to a certain level, your inhibitions are gone. That's why a lot of people do drugs. It's because it's going to take away that, you know what, I have a lot to live for. I have a lot of things that I want to do with my life. I don't want to be gone in this instant. That's going to be gone. You're not going to be thinking about that as you're doing drugs. So when you get someone to do more, you're just breaking them down. And then on top of it, you offer them another $1,200. You know? Like, come on now, how many of us in here would, you know, it's easy money. But it's not. It's not, and we are allowing people in power to pay for our lives and to take them away with their money and with their influence. Because this is not, we're not talking about somebody who saw Jamel and, you know, was attracted to him, you know, and, you know, they had some, you know, deal where, you know, he was sexually gratified and, you know, for that he wanted to help him out, you know, help him in life to get ahead, you know, because a black man, I'm attractive, but once I get this nursing degree, I'm going to be bomb as hell, you know? I mean, you know, he wasn't investing in somebody's life like that. You know, he was taking away from him chip by chip by chip by chip. You know, Jamel spent his last days with me at my house. He wanted to get sober and clean. you know, and I struggled with my addiction, but one thing I did not do was pass it to somebody else. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow somebody or put somebody in the same position that I am and take from them. And on a greater scale, I'm not going to push somebody past the point that I've never gone. I'm not going to see somebody, I'm not going to be at a rock bottom and then encourage somebody to be lower than I am. You know, this guy, and it's crazy because there's so many people out there that went through this. I've been to these, you know, drug houses, flop houses, trap houses, looking for victims of Ed Buck, and so many of them are out there. You have no idea how many boys are scared of this man, are scared and will not give their name because they are scared. They have seen what this man's money made them do. So how can they not say that this man's money won't make somebody come and do something to them? You know, and we have these people that are high up and that have the impact and the ability to help us, and they're taking advantage of that. You know, and it's something that we have to start at the top. We have to start at the top. We cannot allow people to continue paying to kill people. You know, Ed Buck paid to kill him, and it was not right. And he paid to do that to a bunch of other people. How many other people's kids does it have to be? How many of me is there going to be? How many of Jamel is there going to be?
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, you know, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.